context of Luke Ibanez's car, don't we? So when Alex Papadopoulos rejoins, will it be ahead still of the Audi, and by what margin? Right, the board is removed. Papadopoulos gets away now. Hopefully that wasn't hesitation, because he might have lost time. What you don't want to be is under on the pit stop, as the Mustang team have been, but you don't want to be wasting time in the pits. So down the pit road he goes. 92 seconds is the regulation time, so we've got some at sort of 92.2, some under it, as we've heard, like Matt Nicol-Jones. And this pit stop is going to be, when the beam is broken, 92.5. That's just about perfect.
Yeah, absolutely, and a nice enough lead as well now just to get your head down for Papadopoulos. As you can see, the Audi behind has had a couple of laps now to familiarise himself with the track, familiarise himself with the car. They haven't obviously been out since qualifying, so they've had some time just to sort of think, okay, I'm not really sure what the car's like, I'm not sure what it's going to be like in race trim, but Papadopoulos knows exactly what he's going to do now. He's got 20 minutes just to drive his race. No mistakes, no track limits.
Rafa Martinez waiting to take over his McLaren, but he is leaving this very, very tight, isn't he? Because John Lancaster is not yet in. He's in the last sector. He's not come into the pit lane. Off the road has gone Casalonga's Porsche. Rejoins, brings a load of muck onto the racetrack. But I'm just hoping, I know the pit window has been shifted, but I'm just hoping that John Lancaster, who is in the pit lane now, has not left it too late.
Yeah, I fear for them that they will get a penalty. Obviously, it came out with 31 minutes, and they gave us a 10-minute leeway, which, from my view, obviously goes to 21, and obviously only 19 minutes and 25 seconds left of the race. So hopefully they haven't made a mistake there, but regardless, let's see how Rafa Martinez does in his only third GT4 race.
Yeah, we haven't had a legend on the screen that I've seen that says pit window closed, but I would concur that if it opened at 31, at 21 it should close, and that was at 19 and a bit, but John Lancaster came in, so they may have rolled the dice and been found wanting there. However, Papadopoulos goes through. That's the lead car then, number 15, ahead of number 3 Audi of Robert Conseny, and that means that the gap between them is 5.3 seconds with just under 19 minutes to go. Gap back, third across the timing line is going to be there, the elite McLaren. So that's Tom Levin. And then fourth is Piana, fifth Muller Madsen, sixth now is Pedro Ibrahim, and seventh is Ricardo van der Ende, eighth is Leo Pichler, ninth dropping back Nicolas Malloy, and the top 10 is going to be rounded out by Etienne Shelley in the Supra, which finally is knocking on the door of points.
Absolutely, yeah. Just interested to see what happened to the 92 car of Malloy there. Emil Herdel was doing a great job in P3, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down to P10, so whether it was an issue in the pit lane or something like that, doesn't look like it, because the pit time was okay, but has dropped down all the way back, as we can see the McLaren now into that podium position with Tom Levin.
He was part of that battle, wasn't he, when we had Muller Madsen and Piana and also the Van der Ende BMW all going at him. I wonder whether he kind of got hung out to dry, and once he lost his rhythm and lost a place, it took a lap or so to regroup. So Malloy, who's not the most experienced of drivers in that company, having a lesson learned, I fear, and it's gone against him. So Rafa Martinez at the wheel of 812. Now there, third is Tom Levin. His last lap in the McLaren was a 1:42.7. He's not quite as quick as Conseny, although granted there is a bit of traffic floating around. The safety car procedure was going to be looked at after the race to see if everybody was behaving themselves under that. So the result, as ever in GT4, might be provisional until late tomorrow. However, Papadopoulos versus Conseny is what we need to be looking at, because it's the Mercedes ahead and we've got just over 17 minutes to go. There are plenty of other battles yet to resolve as well.
Yeah, I have to say though, Papadopoulos doing a really phenomenal job. We talk a lot about Luke Ibanez being that really brilliant silver driver in that car, but to be fair to Papadopoulos, he's put in a 42.2 last lap, which was 6.5 tenths faster than Conseny, so even if he just manages this gap at 5.9 seconds now, he'll be absolutely golden straight into the lead of that race, and hopefully their first win of the season. But you know, we have to give credit where it's due, and he's done a really good job straight out the box to get straight on it.
So there is Robert Conseny, and in the first sector he is not quite as quick. His last lap was a 42.8, Papadopoulos a 42.6. At the moment it's still advantage Mercedes. Ironically, in GT3 the Mercedes has been struggling because it can't turn its tyres on quick enough. In GT4 there's no stopping it. Papadopoulos then clear by 5.9 seconds. Now, what about Levin? He, if anything, is being caught by Piana, isn't he? Because Gabriele Piana there, look, in the BMW is lapping quicker by 4 tenths last time around. As you look at the number 30 Porsche, that Finn Zulauf has given over to Max Kronberg, and that leads Pro-Am.
Yeah, brilliant job from Max Kronberg there. Looks like he's got some good pace in that Porsche. But going back to Piana, as we so said before, it doesn't seem to matter where they qualify. They're always in the top 5 come the end of the race. So they've got such a brilliant wealth of experience within that car and within that team as well. Really, really good team. So we can see that those guys are only in 4th position, but I think they could still have a crack at P3 here, really catching the Tom Levin car in front.
Piana's kind of got typecast as a GT4 specialist, hasn't he? He occasionally is seen in GT3 machinery in the Nürburgring 24 Hours or the NLS, for example, but he's been doing this so successfully for so long. It's a bit like when you're in a soap opera. Nobody ever thinks you can act. They just think you can only do soap operas. He can only do GT4. There's more to Piana than meets the eye. But in these, he's just so good, so quick, so smooth, so unhurried. 46 is Jean-Laurent Navarro, and he's coming under attack for 13th place from Hendrik Still, who drove a Cayman last year, and he's now in the Aston. But for 2 of them, 13th and 14th places. And second in Pro-Am is Navarro, and their third in Pro-Am is Alexander Weintraub in number 7 Aston, who had a win at Paul Ricard. 2 on the road, but 1 had a penalty afterwards, so they were put into second in class. And Rafa Martinez is going to be 17th as he comes across the line.
Yeah, and a big shout out I want to say, I've been keeping an eye on Cameron Lawrence as well, who's been super fast this weekend in that Rafa Racing McLaren, run by Jody Hemmings, a brilliant engineer of mine as well, so he's obviously very good because he got me to a title, but they look really, really quick, especially him, who's I think starting on the front row for maybe the next race, so keep an eye on him. He was down in around 25th position, now got himself to 19th. I think he'll be hopeful that he can catch and pass Martinez very soon as well, so great job from him.
But the pit stop of number 8, 1, 2, Lancaster and Martinez under investigation. We were worried it was outside the window, and I think race control are making sure of the situation as well. So there's a sting in the tail for number 8, 1, 2, as you see there going through. Pedro Ibrahim Cavallo running in 5th, Pedro Ibrahim in the 2nd of the Borasan BMs there. Number 16, that's Dilan for Malagamua, the Sri Lankan driver. There are other drivers from Sri Lanka, I'm sure, but Delantha is the most famous, and he's the only one on the grid. But he's not backward at coming across to Europe to race. He's raced all sorts of things over the years, all over the globe as well, an inveterate enthusiast. And Oh Dear, a flat tyre by the look of it for the car that was in 16th place, falling down and down and down the order. It's one of the Caymans. Was that the Zulauf car, Max Kronberg's car? It is. Rear puncture for Max Kronberg, 11th it was, but the positive is it's happened towards the end of the lap.
Absolutely, such a shame because it was leading Pro-Am as well, so they were doing a brilliant job, as we just alluded to a lap or 2 before. They just had some great pace, and it's such a shame as he's got to limp that car back with that left rear puncture, I believe, as well, so interesting one.
Now, is that contact, is that a curb strike? Well, either way, it's ruined the race for, as you say, the class leaders, and he wants to bring, and also in strife, which of the BMs is that? Is that Piana? Or it is Gabriele Piana from 4th place. So Gabriele Piana, having just been talking him up, he's got a problem, and the BMW comes onto the back straight. Now, is that mechanical or is that a tyre? Let's try and have a look. From that angle, it looks okay. Let's have another look here. That's a tyre, isn't it? Left front?
Yeah, hard to tell exactly, isn't it? Yes, it is left front. Oh, what a shame. 2 punctures in about as many corners as just as we were hyping him up, saying how brilliant they're doing in that Borasan Automotive BMW, but such a shame as they were in P4 there, absolutely gutting with only 12 minutes left on the race.
So, yes, significant, 1/4 overall, 1 leading its class, so that put Jean-Laurent Navarro into the lead of Pro-Am. There is 11, that's the sister car in strife, and that looks low, but I don't think it's gone down. I think that's deflating. It has gone now. It's gone down. He's just missed pit in. Pedro Ibrahim's tyre has gone down just as he missed the pit lane. It was looking low. Now it's gone flat, and he's going to have to limp that round for another lap.
Car 131 for track limit 6 times.
So Pedro Ibrahim's BMW crawls into turn 1. Forget it. That by the time he's limped that back, he'll be at least a lap down. So why is this happening now?
Absolutely, yeah. Amazing to see the the only thing I can think is sometimes you try and run as much camber as you can to get these cars to turn in, but if you're at maximum camber, these tyres are just screaming at you going, I can do 45 minutes, no problem, but as soon as you put too much load, or you might drop me onto a curb. Remember, obviously, these curbs are raised here. They're a little bit too aggressive, and not that there's anything wrong with that. You've got to be able as a team and as a car to manage it, but I've had it before, only recently, where we've ran too much camber and easy bang, pop goes the tyre.
Well, Max Kronberg's Porsche, because it happened at the end of the lap, has got back into the race, albeit a lap down. Now we need to see whether Piana can get back, and I think we're rather giving up on the Pedro Ibrahim BMW because he's just got too much of the lap to go. That's Matt Nicol-Jones that's got this penalty to be added to the race time. The race has got 10 more minutes to go, so you never know what might happen yet. As you see there, Jean-Laurent Navarro, 12th in the Brichet Porsche, class leader, working his way through the traffic. He's just put a lap on the number 44 Audi, and there is Piana at walking pace, limping back to the pit lane. He wants to get the car back as quickly as he can, but the quicker he goes, the more damage he'll do.
Absolutely, yeah. Sometimes you have a manual within the car that says maximum 120 kilometers an hour. If we've got a puncture, if we do any more than that, we'll have big damage. I do think he can get back. Fair enough, he's got his hazard lights on, but such an awkward place into turn 13 there. You've got absolutely maximum speed, around 230 kilometers an hour, so it's not the nicest thing to see a stricken BMW on the side, but I think he will get it back. Just gives the mechanics a little bit more time to prep the car as well for the race. They don't have to go collect it, so it's the right thing, but such a shame for that team. They were doing so well in 4th and 7th.
And yeah, both cars within the space of a lap. So Alex Papadopoulos still leading by 5.9 seconds, well clear up front, as over the timing line there goes the second of the team speed car Audis of Philippe Talami at the wheel of it. That's where Ibrahim's car has come to grief on the inside of turn 3. And there, the Mustang booms past the traffic. That is Matt Nicol-Jones ahead on the road of Alexander Weintraub, but when you add 5 seconds, he'll drop at least 1 place.
Yeah, shame we haven't really seen the best of the Ford Mustangs. They always seem to catch themselves in a little bit of strife here and there, especially at Paul Ricard. So obviously the penalty is a shame.
But penalty for 60 for track limits 6 times.
More and more penalties coming from race control. Late race with all the
10-second time
penalties
penalty for car 69 for causing a collision in T7 with car 72.
69 being the Jordan Kerridge, Stephen Lake Lotus. That'll be added at the end of the race. So as ever, there's a lot to sift through. Right, there is the Max Kronberg Porsche back in the race. It's punctured, but a long, long way down now.
Yeah, such a shame for those cars. We've had an absolute mental last 10-15 minutes, but I'm just going to report back, if you're a big Mercedes fan, Papadopoulos has stretched his legs to a 6.2 second advantage. He's done a brilliant job to hold off any threat from Constantly there, so that's just how it is at the front of the field, as we've got Tom Levin holding his own in P3. Looks like he's just dropped Model Madsen a bit there. Obviously had the threat of Gabriel Piana, which is now wiped out. Van der Ende into the top 5. We saw that he didn't quite have the pace of the two blue BMWs, one of Piana, but I wonder if maybe that's because they're running a bit less camber. Maybe they're worried about the tyres, and they're obviously such an experienced driver in his own right, Van der Ende, that maybe he thinks, no chance we're going to get to the end. Do as I say. Maybe let's work with the engineers and just try and get the car to the finish line. Yeah,
it could be, because they're his car 5th, banking points, and the Borusan cars effectively out of the race, aren't they? 1 parked and 1 in the pit lane. Piana has limped back, but he's losing, hemorrhaging time, losing laps as he does so. 81 there is Cameron Lawrence.
Right,
as you say, he's looked really good this weekend.
39 for track limit 6 times.
And Cameron Lawrence on the back of Noam Abramczyk. So this is for position. This is for 14th and 15th. And just behind them, the inside line taken by Cameron Lawrence, gets squeezed up the curb. Noam Abramczyk given a rude awakening, but he stays ahead. And then behind them, ready to put a lap on them, is Ricardo van der Ende's BMW. He wants to try to get through as rapidly as he can, or is that the next BMW? No, it is the lapped BMW of De Barn, isn't it? 317, not 17. Yeah. So yes, Anthony De Barn's car. Right, this time Cameron Lawrence does get his elbows out, goes through. Anthony De Barn follows suit, and Abramczyk's had his hat well and truly nailed on there. He's lost 2 places.
Yeah, absolutely. Just saying how well Cameron Lawrence was doing. So tricky. The Porsche, I just didn't think he expected that Cameron Lawrence was going to be at the inside at turn 5. So just turned in thinking no one was there. And oh, hello, I can see a red and white McLaren next to me. So yeah, good move actually from Cameron Lawrence, albeit a little bit of contact, but his nose was up there. He was fully alongside. just that's what happens, a little bit of door-to-door contact. And then obviously the back marker of the BMW says, oh, well, I need to come through as well there. So, yeah, good move from Cameron Lawrence as he's doing a brilliant job getting up to now P14.
And Anthony de Barn likewise back ahead of Abramczyk, so he goes through. That was the car started by Greg Gilbert, as number 5 Aston Josh Miller is now on the back of this little group, another graduate of Ginetta Juniors and British GT4. So pretty much everybody has got a playmate except for Papadopoulos, who is focusing on the lead gap, and he's stretching that all the time with now 6 more minutes on the clock.
Yeah, doing a brilliant job. The only sort of driver that's in the 42s, especially the only driver in the 42.5, so he's doing a brilliant job, just stretch his legs again through sector 1, another 6/10 on Consonny, so he looks like he's in an absolute dream world at the moment, just driving his race and doing a brilliant job.
For track limit 6 times.
And all these track limit penalties are coming thick and fast now, aren't they? That was Julien Leandri, 33, 21st on the road, that's got the penalty. So Josh Miller looking to try to get himself up past Noam Abramczyk. And there, the Porsche fending him off for the moment. That was the car Paul Petit started. But Papadopoulos 6.6 seconds ahead of Consonny. Tom Levin still 3rd, fending off the challenge of Muller Madsen. And Robert Consonny being caught ever so slightly last time by Tom Levin, but 12 seconds to make up. That ain't going to happen. So after all the drama, barring any more, this is the car that's on target to win. 5 minutes on the clock now.
Yeah, I think we can, as you say, without any drama, which is you know, we should never say never, but the top 3 looks relatively stable, and that might be the finishing order. But as you can say, everybody's got their playmate, everybody's got their race, which is so brilliant about GT4 racing. Obviously, 49 cars that we had at start in the race, we've still got a good 40 of those cars nearly still relatively running and running well, so everybody's got someone that can race. If we look down the timing page, everybody's within really a second or 2 of the car in front. As we can see, the Porsche just fending off the BMW. Josh Miller just trying to see if he can make up any places. He had an electrical problem in qualifying, so him and Delsart a little bit out of position in qualifying, but still trying to fight through in that Aston Martin.
Anthony de Barn is right there on the back of Noam Abramczyk. He's not given up yet, so he was ahead when they came across the line last time. Abramczyk put himself back through on this lap, and the battle rages on. 4 more minutes on the clock as they go through. Abramczyk brakes then for turn 1. Papadopoulos stretching this margin to 7 seconds. It's not often in a GT4 race the same car leads almost every lap, but barring the pit stops, that is what it has done. It's been a great effort by both Papadopoulos and start driver Ibanez.
Absolutely, big shout out to NM Racing as well. They've done a fantastic job. Papadopoulos, who had the sort of more nerve-wracking, more aggressive sort of, oh, I've got 20 minutes now, I've got to get in the car and drive the wheels off it for the first few laps and make sure Consonny doesn't get close to me. And such a nice feeling as a driver when you're driving and the engineer goes, the gap's extended, it's getting bigger. Then you think, okay, I'll just cool down. So we see Josh Miller up the inside, a little bit of a half-hard move there. And,
Van der Ende, puncture off the road, another puncture and another BMW. That's the 3rd BM in the space of 7 or 8 minutes with a puncture, and that has exploded because not only is the tyre shredded, look, it's taken the bodywork with it. That's happened at high speed.
Real high speed, yeah, coming into, I think, turn 13 there, final sector, and no chance for him to do anything but just try and hobble back. Oh, hopefully he wasn't stopped on the track there, but so strange to see these BMWs having so many punctures at super high speed there.
Whoa, what a feeling.
Such a horrible feeling as a driver there, where you just expect the car to turn in completely normal. You get a little bit of vibration through the wheel, and then all of a sudden, bang, the tyre's gone, and that has done some big damage to that front of the BMW.
It's just ripped the bodywork, hasn't it? You can see the rubber marks up the side. So, yeah, we were wondering whether Van der Ende was nursing that to the end. Well, if he was, it didn't work. There, look, is Alex Papadopoulos, who just has to nurse that home now. He's going to be able to do 1 more lap, maybe 2. Doesn't want to go too slowly, but with a 7-second cushion, he's got ample time in hand here. Just need to see where he is in relation to the clock. The flying lap is a 1:42. I reckon he's going to just squeeze 2 laps out of this, which he may not want. Yeah,
fortunately, there's no problems, for me at least, for fuel, because we had such a long safety car. So he'll be thinking, to be honest, it might be nice to have 1 more tour of the Misano track just by myself in the lead. It'd be quite nice, actually. So, look, I think for him, he'll just be thinking, I'll do 1 more lap. As you say, we've got 15 seconds added on over the clock there. So he's got another lap to do, but he's done a brilliant job. Absolutely phenomenal from that team.
It was more the tyre life I was concerned about for him more than fuel, but yes, you're right, that safety car would have certainly helped that. Car 75 must give back 1 position, says the timing screen, and 75 is the AV Racing Paul Petit Noam Abramczyk Porsche. There it is. and number 5, Josh Miller, is up ahead. So to whom he had to give it back, we don't know. But anyway, he's lost a place, so hopefully that will sort that one out. Being a steward in this category eats into your life, doesn't it? Because there's a lot to look at post-race.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll stick to the commentary I think there. But yeah, not the easiest. And as we said to you before the race started, the track limits were going to really come into it. We can see a few more black and white flags just being given. That's your warning flag. I'm
interested to see how this Anthony de Barn BMW copes, because we've lost most of the others. That one is being driven hard as well. Greg Gilvert won't have been slow in the earlier stint. So the team that operates 317, the Chazal Technology Course squad, they look like they've got it right. Yeah, and the worry for me as well is, you know, as we keep alluding to, the safety car came out for a long period of that race. If there was no safety car, would we be able to puncture even earlier? So they'll be thinking for race 2, okay, we've got a fast car, but we haven't got one to get to the finish, then there's no point. And you can imagine the Pirelli tyre technicians taking a very keen interest in the BMW team, saying, right, what did you do? We didn't tell you to do it. 28 seconds on the clock and counting, as here Papadopoulos comes up towards the last corner, and he is going to get another lap out of it. He can't afford to limp up to the line, so one more lap and through he goes with around about 9 seconds to spare. So Luc Ibanez started. Alex Papadopoulos will bring the car home, and by the look of it, number 16, the sister car, which is going to be second in AM, Delanfa Malagamur at the wheel, is going to be up behind it for the ideal photo finish. There is Robert Consani in second place, struggling to get through the traffic. Yeah, it really is, but they'll still be happy. This is a really good result for them after a relatively tricky Paul Ricard. Okay, they might not have the pace at the end here, but to be fair, he looks like he's just trying to chop himself through this traffic, take no risk, because as we said before, Leben so far behind, 16 seconds off this battle here. The Lotus Emira of Stephen Lake, one of the people behind the Mahiki Racing team, goes through shot there. 27th is Benoit Detu in the Aston that was started by Roberto Faria. Third place then for 78, Tom Leben. And behind him, Nikolai Muller-Madsen in number 91, Porsche. But another good, solid effort, this, by Eddie Ives' Elite Motorsport team that's nurtured, it seems, almost the entire intake of Ginetta Junior drivers over the years, but they've had great success in Ginetta racing, and then GB3 single-seaters, and now turning, of course, to GT4 with success as well. The team just grows and grows and grows. That, though, is the lead car, and so Alex Papadopoulos heading for a maiden GT4 European Series win. The car started by Luc Ibanez. It has not missed a beat. All the tyres have coped with the demands of the last hour impeccably, and just a faultless performance. Then it is going to be a win in GT4 European Series, or is it? No, last lap board goes out. Now, we'd hit 0, but now the last lap board is there. Interesting. Very interesting. As a driver, you just got to keep going. So obviously he'll just be getting from the engineer, well, just keep going at the moment, and hopefully we get the results as we did at the lap before. Well, it now says final lap. It's not normally 60 minutes plus a lap, is it? No, so it's not. The plot thickens there. It does, and we sometimes do see this within racing. Yeah. You go back a lap to the lap before, but it'll be interesting to see how the race director copes with this one. Obviously, it has came out final lap, but normally, if the race had ended, you'd have a scroll of checkered flags coming down the timing screen, which we don't. So whether they decided to add a bonus lap on, if you like, because of that long safety car period, pass. But normally it is 60 minutes and the flag goes out, not 60 minutes plus a lap. So anyway, we'll try again. Alex Papadopoulos has one more lap to go, and he's got to keep on nursing it just to make sure nothing bites around the corner. He's up at turn 10. Absolutely. The good news about it is that the fact that it probably won't have any implications on the top 3 positions at the moment, so they seem to be relatively stable with where they are, which is always a benefit. But yeah, Papadopoulos, absolutely brilliant job. Same with his teammate Luc Ibanez. They've been absolutely brilliant today, not missed a beat, as you said, and they've just been spot on. So really great from NM. Perfect start to the weekend for them in Misano. Interesting as well, the variety of brands. You've got Mercedes AMG ahead of Audi, ahead of McLaren, then Porsche, and Toyota in the end, up to 6. We've hardly seen the car of Etienne Shelley, but it's going to take a top 6 finish. I've got a Lotus there, stopped, in fact, coming into the last corner. But we'll try again. Checkered flag this time is at the ready, and up to the line comes Alex Papadopoulos then to win with Luc Ibanez in race 1 of the weekend in GT. Wow. Well, the one constant was that Mercedes, wasn't it? It did not miss a beat. Absolutely, yeah. What a brilliant race. I really enjoyed that. An hour of action-packed
drama, even though we had that 15-minute safety car, it still seemed to not take away anything from this race. It's been brilliant. And as you say, Papadopoulos, NM, I'm running out of superlative to sort of say how great they were, but it really isn't easy in this championship just to dominate like that, just to get one driver, put it on pole, bang, lead the race, swap over, great pit stop, no problems, no penalties, no black and white flags for track limits. And there is such a deserved winner with NM Racing.
So Luke Ibanez arrives into Parc Fermé on foot. Alex Papadopoulos arrives at the wheel of the race-winning car. Barely a mark on it. Not many others can say the same, but that was out of trouble all the way. It was a good pit stop, just half a second over the regulation minimum time, so they got that absolutely spot on. The other cars making their way now down to the Parc Fermé area. The drivers will be whisked away in due course to the podium. The NM Racing team operating GT4 and GT2 machinery this weekend as Alex Papadopoulos celebrates a maiden GT4 win, and you can see what that means to him. Yeah,
it's really nice to see that. You see sometimes with drivers, and there's nothing wrong with it, but a little bit more emotionless. But it's great to see the emotion pour out of a driver like that. Just so much relief, I think, sometimes when you get a win after trying so hard. And as we always see, we watch on and we come and live and watch these videos and watch these races where we see the drivers for an hour try their hardest. But so much comes into these races. Hours, days, weeks, years of practice, trying to get good, trying to get better, working as a team. And this is what it means. So brilliant job from those two drivers. And as I said, absolutely deserved for those two.
And Luke Ibanez looks like he's done the second stint as well. He's been pretty nervous in the heat on the pit lane, I would imagine. He crawls into Parc Fermé to celebrate with his co-driver. And a very happy team. Benjamin Lariche is there, ready to be joined by Robert Consani. Frustrated, perhaps, that it was only second place, but it's good points for the championship. There is Alex Papadopoulos out of the Mercedes, helmet off. A Lance Stroll look to him, do you not think?
Yeah, very much so, actually. Also, looks very relaxed considering he's just done 20 minutes. Either really good aircon or he's very fit. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say the second one. But yeah, and as we see, Benjamin Lariche there hugging his teammate. Brilliant job as well.
And Dilanfa Malagamura in the background, who you only ever see with a grin on his face. Dilanfa absolutely loves his motor racing, wherever it takes him to. And we've seen him most recently in Lamborghini Super Trofeo. He drove, I think, in the Silverstone 24 Hours in one of its first years. Drove in the Bathurst 24 Hours. He's raced in Formula 3 cars in India. You name it, he's done it. But Luke Ibanez, Alex Papadopoulos are our winners, and Antonio Rankin is with them.
Wow, congratulations, guys. I can see how much that means to you. I mean, such a huge margin at the end there, really dominant.
Yeah, you know, we had a game plan going into the race. We decided just to stick to our plan, set a rhythm, try not to entertain too many battles and take off, have clean air, and hopefully have an easy race. They don't always go that way, so when he has a good start like he did, you got to take advantage and capitalize the rest of the way.
How did you manage to disappear down the road that quickly, that early on?
Well, we have the pace. I push it all I can do. I got this gap of 5 seconds, and then I put in the car with them for too much easy as possible can do. And then we did it, and we won the victory. Let's go!
Nice, nice.
Congratulations, guys. Go and enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for Luke Ibanez, he's gone through a number of co-drivers in recent seasons, so to now have continuity for 2 years and one that he's brought up to his pace and they can now win, that'll be a good feeling for him.
Brilliant, yeah. They've got another race, obviously, coming up tomorrow as well that they can try and build on this, and hopefully if they can get 2 race wins as well under their belt, they'll be absolutely over the moon. For Papadopoulos as well, as you said, first race win for him in the series. He'll be thinking, right, monkey's off the back now. I feel so much more relieved that I did that. And he'll be thinking, there's no reason why I can't do this again and again and again. So yeah, absolutely brilliant job. Great to see them both really buzzing with that result as well. So yeah, really enjoyable race. Brilliant job from them.
Former touring car racer Alex Papadopoulos drove in the American TCR scene with an Alfa Romeo Giulietta before coming to Europe to race in the French as well as the European GT4 Series. And a great job done.